Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yashala, Koholimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kahakodash. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawak, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And so I was watching this video earlier. I don't want to go into the lady's video, but you know, she's, matter of fact, let's see here. I could still have it up. Let me see. Okay, so basically it's this young lady right here on the African diaspora news. That's what's his name? I can't think of the Jake. And he knows that we're Israelites too. He's had Hebrew Israelites on his show before. He knows full well. Damn, what's his name? I can't think of it. Something Scott, I think. I'm not sure. Salakia. He got a couple of different channels. It's been a minute. I kind of been unsubscribed to him years back, you know what I'm saying, after I see he was on some bullshit, you know what I'm saying, because this guy clearly knows that we're Israelites, and you know, he still pushes that African shit. But anyway, on the channel, this lady right here, she was going off into this article, you know, with the videos of these dolls called Natasha dolls, right? So, and basically you can see these damn gooks, these fucking these dog eaters, cat, rat, and bat soup eaters. You know what I'm saying? You know, they basically, they get the dolls, and the dolls come in all colors, right? Of all races, so to speak. But they get the so-called black ones, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they do all these demeaning things to them. So, and the brother's been going off into the fact that, or the elders, they've been going off into the fact that, matter of fact, I watched the elder from Vegas yesterday, and he was going off into Esau. Basically, he's not gonna get MOAB, the so-called Chinese. They're right along with the so-called white man Esau, and neither one of them are gonna get a pass. They're all gonna pay for what they've done to the children of Israel, man. So when I put it in, you know, these dolls are called Natasha dolls, right? So let's go to the AI mode again. I just put in Chinese people using black baby dolls in abuse. So basically, these are supposed to be like comforting dolls. Or basically, you know how when people, they got these places you can get a sludge hammer and hammers, and you know, they got shit in there in a room where you can just go break shit to relieve stress. This is pretty much what they're doing with the doll, right? It says the situation you're referring to is a viral social media trend involving a dark-skinned silicone stress toy known as the Natasha doll, which has sparked widespread international outrage, accusations of severe racism, and deep concern over anti-blackness. And these are the people that's in your neighborhood selling you cat, rat, and dog. You know, you niggas you go and get your shrimp fried rice from. You know, this is who you're going to get your shrimp fried rice from. People that actually really hate your ass, man. Right? So, it says the Natasha doll trend in early June 2026, videos began circulating widely on platforms like TikTok and Chinese social media networks like Douyin and Red Note. The videos depict users violently manipulating the squishy, baby-shaped stress relief dolls. Targeted mistreatment. While the stress toys are but who the fuck makes a stress toy out of a baby? And so now with the so-called Chinese, you know, they kind of came on, you know, I guess they pretty much came out and said, stop this shit, you know what I'm saying, basically, because it started to go viral online, and, you know, those so-called Chinese people, they like to basically look as if they're just this friendly people throughout the earth, no matter where they are. But they hate you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They hate you Israelites. Why? Because they are on the list in Psalms 83 of the people or the nations that are enemies of the Lord. And if they're enemies of the Lord, they're of course enemies of the children of Israel. That's going into Psalms chapter 83. Matter of fact, let's just go into it real quick. So basically, they were basically like, you know, stop it. It wasn't because of the racism part of it. They didn't want it, you know, that wasn't the reason they wanted it to be stopped. They wanted it to be stopped basically because, you know, the so-called Chinese, I guess, young women or kids could grow up and treat their child the same way. But you know, hey, these are the same people again that's out here eating cat, rat, and dog, man. These people don't even have sense enough to not eat fucking dog. So who are they? You know what I'm saying? And they actually think that they're above us. Here you go. You don't have sense enough to not eat cat, rat, and dog, but you're above us. Crazy work, bro. And you can remember too, back when that COV-19, the Cove shit went down, they was getting their asses kicked here in America. Remember, they was getting jumped on the subways, and then all of a sudden they started talking about blacks and Asians unite, blacks and see they always want to throw themselves in this group with you when they're being persecuted, but when it comes to after they get what they want and need, it's just like all the other races, LGBTQ, the whole nine. When they use you niggas up, they move on and leave you still in the fight, right? But anyway, this is Psalms 83. And you Moabites are a wash pot, man. You just get ready to continually do feet. You know what I'm saying? You get ready to continually do pedicures and shit in our kingdom, nigga. We're gonna whip the shit out of y'all asses, man. All that old chinky-eyed, chee-hee-hee-hee shit. Nah, you're gonna go into complete fucking turmoil, man, when we get our hands on you. Same, because that's the kingdom of David. When King David was on the scene, King David had you in subjection, and that's what we're going back to. This is the kingdom that we're leading up to. This is the good news of the gospel, man. That our enemies are gonna be under us. Now this is Psalms 83. Let me start from the top. Verse 1. A song or a psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. So the Lord has enemies, and these people hate the Lord, and they hate us as well. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. The hidden ones, the people that's being spoken of here, are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, the children of Israel. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And this is the reason why, you know, Jake running around calling themselves African American, Haitians, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and all these different bywords. Those are not ethnicities. That's not your nationality. Your biblical nationality or ethnicity is your Israelites, man. You come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, or Yasher Allah in the Hebrew tongue. He had 12 sons, which are the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Not just this one group called the Jews. There's 12 tribes, not just one. Because Jew, that just represents really one tribe, because Judah is the fourth son of our forefather, Yasher, Israel. Right? So they fooled the world into thinking that, it's just, you know, we're the holy people, we're the chosen people. But in the meanwhile, they're over there in Israel about to hold the biggest so-called gay parade in the world, in the Holy Land. But they're the holy people. Come on, bro. Anyway, they're part of the, you know, matter of fact, they're the main enemy of the Lord, that particular tribe, Amalek. Okay, but it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So all these nations are together when it comes to fucking Jacob, man. That's why you see all the nations in our neighborhoods owning all the businesses. They own the stores. They come lick the sores, basically. They come lick the wounds. Esau, he gets the bulk of the cake. And then, you know, the rest of these nations, they come in, you know, they kind of share a slice. You know, they come in and own the mechanic shops, the beauty supply stores, you know, little Chinese food places, and sushi spots, and you know what I'm saying, you know, little things like that. Clothing stores, you know, they selling you bitches lace wig fronts and shit. You know, anyway. But from the top, it's Edom. Verse 6, it says the tabernacles of Edom. That's the biblical name for the so-called white man. Next in line is Ishmael, right? The Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs today. And the next on the list is, guess who? The so-called Chinese people, Moab. And that's the point that I wanted to get. But it goes on, the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon. Ammon is the so-called Japanese. They don't like you niggas neither. None of these nations do. These African nations, don't let these people fool you into thinking that you're an African. You're not an African or an American, man. Those are two continents named after two so-called white men. And Africa is a continent with 54 countries in it. You can't be the whole goddamn continent. And then you're the continent of America too. That's not a ethnicity. And I was going into this earlier today. I was 17 years old, I think going on 18 years old when they came up with African American. So how can I be older than my ethnicity? That shit is stupid. It don't make sense. But these are the people that hate you. The first three on the list is Edom, the so-called white man, Ishmael, the so-called Arabs today, and Moab, your so-called Chinese. And they've always been in cahoots together, man. Let me see. Yeah, Moab. You gonna do exactly what you're doing, in those pedicure shops, man, in our kingdom. You're good at shit like that. That's what you were designed for, to do stuff like that. Psalm 60:8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistine, triumph thou because of me. So Esau, the so-called white man, and Moab, the so-called Chinese, have always been together. We're trying to take us down. We're trying to enslave us. We're trying to pretty much overall just, eradicate us, basically. Right? So this actual scripture is being mentioned in Psalms 108:9. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast off my shoe, out my shoe. Over Philistine will I triumph. See? So you nations, we're going to triumph over. See, right now y'all got it. But it's coming to a point where, we're about out of this captivity that we've been in for this amount of time that we've been in it. And the Lord is really riling up Jake. A lot of this stuff that you're seeing going on, this is Jake being riled up. Because when you go into it, let me go back into it real quick. Like you've been seeing this story about the 14-year-old getting gunned down by one of these gooks over a couple of bottles of water that he didn't even take. Shot him in the back, and came out of the store. Which, in certain states, that's murder, because if a person is running and you shooting them in the damn back, that's murder. It's not like he was facing you and he's up on you and trying to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? But they let that fucking gook get away with that shit. So those particular things are just riling Jake up. Jake is getting pissed, man. So they talking about boycotting. Well, you should have been boycotting. You shouldn't be eating at a Chinese food restaurant anyway. Because if you want to make some Chinese food, you can make that shit at the crib. It's nothing to go online, go on YouTube, pull up a couple of shorts, and make some motherfucking some chicken and rice or whatever. You like soy sauce, you like little sauces. You know what I'm saying? You like certain things like that particular kind of food. You can make that food at your house a whole lot better with better ingredients. Cause this man ain't no telling what he feeding you. We've seen videos of meat locker trucks. Truck freezers full of dogs, man. Because these people eat fucking dogs. And it's nothing for them to chop one of them goddamn puppies up, chop up a damn pigeon, chop up a whatever, and throw that shit right over into your rice. And they give you so much, they have to staple the damn thing, staple that bitch closed. Here you go, you think you getting a deal. And this nigga is feeding you cat, rat, and dog. These people, I'm telling you, man, they eat any goddamn thing. So you're not better than us, bro. Okay, it says, dehumanizing and justification. Public outrage intensified significantly after some social media users defended the trend by claiming they prefer using a black doll because of lighter skinned variants. Look too human, see? As if we're not human. Making them feel uncomfortable or hesitant to cause damage. Psychological warnings. Psychologists and academic experts have publicly cautioned against the trend. They warn that physically venting anger on human-like figures can condition the brain to associate stress relief with destruction, while severely eroding empathy, particularly among young audiences. Well, y'all over there in China should beat the shit out of y'all own kids. We don't give a fuck. Yeah, practice on that, because you don't have no black babies. You don't have no so-called black babies there, because no so-called black people live there. So you getting your stress off on a so-called black doll, Yeah, go ahead. And you ain't having no goddamn children anyway. The Lord done stripped y'all of all that, man. You know? Media outlets like Ebony and OK Africa, again, with that African shit. We're not Hamites, man. We're Shemites. You're not an African. Everyone with melanin is not the same people. Again, look at the continent of Africa. You got a phone, you got a laptop, something. Pull up the fucking continent of Africa and see how big that shit is. It's countries in that continent just as big as America. 54 countries are in there. So where the fuck do you come from since you're so goddamn African? Which one of those countries? Which one of those villages? You one of those Africans with the big ass plate in the lip? Kneel down underneath a cow while he pissing on your head for a shower? You know? Long ass neck, rings around your shit, looking crazy as hell? Nah, man, them not our people. We're not the same people. And you can get that in the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary too, because it talks about how Ham is a progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Just look it up. Pull up Ham in the Zondervan's. Matter of fact, let me. You know what? I ain't want to come out of this. Let me just read the rest of this, and I can just pull that up real quick. Media outlets like Ebony and OK Africa note that the trend has amplified broader pre-existing concerns regarding anti-black racism and the exploitation of African children online. Critics and human rights advocates have drawn parallels between the casual degradation of the doll and documented real-world incidents such as historical exploitation of African children by certain foreign content creators for cheap video entertainment, prompting widespread calls to ban the toys, block the associated hashtags, and actively report the harmful content. Well, boycott they shit. Stop going to the beauty supply store. You can order that shit online. Anything that you need from that motherfucker. Save some damn money at that, you know? Or at least their brick and mortars, because they brick and mortars, I just passed one. They in the hood. Just stop shopping with them fuckers, man. These people don't have no respect for you. These people don't care nothing about you. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got nothing but disdain for you. We just read in Psalms 83 how they feel about you. That's not going anywhere. They have a perpetual hatred. Matter of fact, I was gonna get let me do this. I'm gonna put that Ham in. Because it's very important to know that you're not an African, man. You're not a fucking African. If you notice, so-called black men, we can grow full beards. Those Africans can't grow no goddamn beards. They got them little beady beads. You got a lot of those African women, they just got the little beady ass, little short ass hairdos. They can't grow no damn hair. Even though our women are under the curses, you know what I'm saying? That's something different as far as like, you know, like some of the shit that's going on with them in their hair because they put a lot of damn weaves in and a bunch of chemicals that's done fuck their head up. Got them looking like George Jefferson at the fucking head. But when it comes to you know, these Africans though, man, they're not us, man. We're not the same people. We're not Ethiopians. We're not fucking Somalians. We're not related to these people. Though we have the same melanated color, we're not the same people. It's really that damn simple. The only people on the planet that don't have melanin is Esau, the so-called white man. He's pinkish to reddish in color. He's without melanin. Everybody else got some. Even the so-called Chinese got a little lighter color of melanin. You know, Japanese, they, you know, but they try and powder themselves up. They don't want no color. They're actually ashamed of their own history because you go back maybe about 7,500 years ago, the motherfucking Chinese people was dark as niggas. Easily. Okay, but anyway, let's put in Ham. Zondervan, Slovakia. Bible Dictionary. You know, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua for our apostles and elders that teach us to look things up, man. You got all these tools. Chat, GPT, you know, Grunk, all these different AI tools, man. Use that shit. You know what I'm saying? They go off on some things, but you can get some pretty basic information a lot of the times. It'll be accurate with the information. See, right here. It says the specific entry for Ham in Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary is highly widely cited. especially in discussions surrounding biblical genealogy, race, and identity. The exact quote from the dictionary, the entries defines Ham as follows, right? Ham, right? Ham. You're going into Shem, Ham, Japheth, Noah's sons. The earth was repopulated after the flood through them, right? Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. See that? But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. And it's a few more, but not the Negroes. We're a different people. We are from the tribe of Judah. We are Shemites. We come from the son Shem, not Ham. We don't come from Japheth. Those are the progenitors. Those 3 sons basically are the progenitors of the races of people that you see on the planet today. And we're not all the same. It's just common sense. Anyway, let me get this one last script. Because the same way Esau got a perpetual hatred for us, all these nations do. Because we're the chosen people, man. The Lord chose us out of all these nations. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me get that real quick. I'll get that too. I think it's Deuteronomy 32. And let me start at verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance. So all the nations got an inheritance. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So the Lord chose Jacob, man. He chose the children of Israel out of all the nations. They get blessed as well. You know, hey, they under the sun. Shit, they get to see the sun. They get to eat the foods of the earth. They get to, you know what I'm saying, to bash in the luxuries of seeing all the things that the Lord created, but the Lord didn't choose them. So their blessing is on this side. And so right now, they're in their kingdom. They're in their heaven, so to speak. So this kingdom is ending. And as this kingdom ends, the children of Israel, when the Lord comes, we're going to be the #1 ruling race of people on the planet. And all these nations are going to be under our foot, man. They've had their chance to rule. They've had their time. They've had their turn. Here you go. You got these fucking Moabites, these dog-eating motherfuckers right here. They're over right now. They're in the lead of microchipping people, which is the same thing that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, wants to do. They want to microchip the entire population of citizens in the world and have your ass out here with a social credit score where if you not doing what they want you to do, then they can just put your ass to death with turning off your damn chip, basically. These are heathen. These are people that's trying to take over the basically the souls of the children of Israel. Come on, man. These people are wicked as hell, bro. Let's put that scripture in on eating paws. You're not supposed to eat anything with paws, man. These motherfuckers eat anything with paws. Leviticus 11:27. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. You're not supposed to fucking eat no goddamn dog, bro. These motherfuckers will eat a goddamn dog up. Matter of fact, let's prove it. It's starting to rain. I'm about to get in the crib. Ah, shit, it's a lock. Bear with me here. I'm just gonna put in Chinese eating dog. I should have just put it in the hookup. They got dog markets, man. You can go pick out a damn dog and they'll chop his ass up. Look at this shit. Look at this shit here. God damn. Look at this, man. And these, come on, bro. These are the people that's acting as if they're above us. You ain't got sense enough to not eat a damn dog. Look at this shit, bro. Look at that. I ain't gonna play none of the videos. Look at this. Look at the dogs already hung up and skinned, bro. And it's a delicacy to them. They ain't got no goddamn sense. Look at that. Alligators and shit. They motherfuckers that eat anything moving. They looking like said pet. They looking at that motherfucker like food. See? Dogs for sale. Do people in China really eat dogs? You goddamn right they do. Look at that big ass truck, that trailer right there full of them damn dogs, man. They be fucking these goddamn dogs up. And that ain't the only thing that they eat that's defiled, man. And that's an abomination to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. See? So they're being exposed right along with Esau ass, man. These people are the fucking wicked. Esau's the ultimate wicked. He's the border of wickedness. But see, matter of fact, there's a scripture. I thought about it earlier. I want to say it's in, yeah, I'm going to have to get from out here. Shit, it's raining. It's one in the Apocrypha. I was out trying to get me a little bike ride in today. I did get a little bit in. Where is it at? Is it second address? Oh, Salakia, bear with me. Okay, Khan, second address 15. And let me start at verse 46. It says, "And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person." So you see, these so-called Chinese people, they've taken on the same customs as America. That's why you see them walking around over there with them suit and ties on. You know, they're so about their customs, but they walking around looking like a fucking cracker with them stupid ass suit and ties on. You know, and they're, you know, they got the skyscrapers. You know, they're basically doing the exact same thing that these Edomites are doing, except they kind of got a little bit more control over their people, or I would say a lot more control over their people, actually. You know, because they got cameras on every goddamn body, everywhere over there. Okay, but it says, "Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her." You've made yourself like unto these Edomites. Salakia. "And hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee." See? So you so-called Asians, and all of them too. It's, you know, it's not just MOAB. It's Ammon, you know, South Korea, North Korea, the Philippines. You know, they Taiwanese. They all calling themselves by these different names, but they all, you know, are a part of the same people, so to speak. But they're all trying to be American. And what comes with America is hating so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans real strong. See, they know about the slave trade of the so-called black. You think the Chinese ever would step up and with their military might and say, "America, you know, you're wrong as hell for what you've done to the so-called black people"? Let those people go. Have they ever extended a hand and say, "Hey, come to China. We have plenty of land. We'll give you a portion of land to allow your people to come and govern themselves"? You ain't never seen nothing like that. Those so-called Japanese, Chinese, South Koreans, North Koreans, Russians, Germans. No, all these people are in Psalms 83. They play a part in keeping us down, man. So it's the Lord that's going to bring us up. It's the Lord that's going to get us out of this captivity. It's the Lord that's going to put them under our foot, man. It's not going to be no might of ours, because we don't have no might, you know? So I just wanted to touch on this real quick. You know, they was kind of up in arms about the little dolls and shit like that. You know, I had, you know, they did have some videos on, because you can go into some videos if you want to check it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Because basically, you could just go into YouTube, probably just put in those Natasha dolls. Yeah, these people, they hate you, man. See? So you see, people been commenting on it. These black baby Natasha dolls are being abused in China. That's your boy Godfrey. It got worse. See? Black people in China gets targeted. after Black Dogs going viral. See, because Jake is everywhere. See, people talking about stuff, and it's only riling Jake up. Jake, see, the Lord is gonna let Jake loose soon. See, these people have a real disdain, like, you know, they bite your style from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Like they like Jake when it comes to him dancing, rapping. You know, they try and stick. You know, the ultimate bootleggers. They gonna bootleg your whole style. It's just certain shit they can't do. Like they can't imitate Jake playing basketball. When was the last time you seen a Chinese NFL player? You know, when was, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna see nothing like that because they're not built that way. Because they're actually a people that come from real close incest. This is an incestuous nation of people. This is the nation that, you know, the daughters slept with their fathers and became a nation. MOAB and Ammon, the so-called Japanese and the so-called Chinese. That's the reason why they look the way that they look, because they have those incestuous genes, man. You know, when a daughter and father sleeps together and have children, there's nothing good coming from that, right? I just done a lesson on that. You know what I'm saying, with an Edomite. But that's things that these heathenist nations are into. That's why the Lord gave us the law, statutes, and commandments on what to do and what not to do. Don't do like these other nations. Don't be like these other nations. Don't live the lifestyles. Don't take on none of their customs. That Proverbs 3:31 talks about envying thou not the oppressor and choosing none of his ways. We're not to choose the ways of Esau. We're not to choose the ways of the so-called Chinese, Japanese, or any of these nations for that matter. Because they're heathen. They don't have no goddamn sense. Again, you don't have sense enough to not fucking eat a dog. We ain't got nothing to talk about. There's no comparison to you and our people. I don't give a fuck what our people doing. Even though Jake be doing some wicked ass shit, but Jake not gonna eat no dog. I'm willing to bet you that. Now coming in these new days and times with these famines that's about to hit the planet, Jake might eat some goddamn dog. But I'm talking about just by choice. You got choices. You got all these different animals out here that's lawful for you to eat, and you got a taste for some dog? Paws and all, bro. Tail and all. Come on, bro. Anyway, I'm going to end out there. Pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashal on the Baba Ball. Hey, just know that these people hate you. They have a... Did I get that one? I didn't get it. Let me get that one. It comes back now. I was into that other scripture. We'll end out with this Ezekiel 35, because this is mainly talking about Esau, but this is going into these other nations as well. That's off in Psalms 83, the enemies of the Lord and the enemies of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Ezekiel 35:5, and it reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And this is for mainly, like I said again, these Edomites, but it's for all you nations. All you nations are going to pay for what you've done to the children of Israel. All of you nations have had your part in trodden us down, man. And you're going to pay. It is what it is. And we can't fucking wait, bro. And don't be asking for no goddamn mercy when it comes down to it, because you've never shown any, you're not going to get any. So with that, pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yasha'Allah and a Baba Ball.